The Royal Rumble is the event that every wrestling fan looks forward to. Shocks, surprises and disappointing number 30 entrants have been served to us by WWE for over 30 years. The joy of a Rumble comes in the fact that the winner isn't always obvious. Except sometimes, when it is. But 2019 looks like one of those years in which the winners aren't telegraphed. There are a number of names that could feasibly win and go on to wrestle for the title at WrestleMania 35. In this video, myself, Dan and Connel all give our picks for who we want to win the 2019 Men's Royal Rumble match. Please remember that these aren't predictions, these are who we want to win, not who we think will. So I've gone a little bit left field with my pick. I've gone for SmackDown Live's Mustafa Ali, and I know that is a bit of a long shot, but that's the point of these videos. Is it's who I want to win, not exactly a prediction. And I think Ali could win it. I'm not ruling it out, and I'd love to see him do so. I think the story of his WWE and wrestling career, it would be a phenomenal kind of cap off of the last year or two. He started in the Cruiserweight Classic with WWE. He was a backup replacement. He was told that he wasn't going to be involved, and then thanks to a dropout, he ended up actually filling in. And yes, he lost in the first round. I think it was to Lince Dorado, but he's pushed on since then. He ended up getting signed to a contract after a couple of little matches with NXT. Ended up being part of 205 Live. In 2016-17 didn't really do anything. He was just kind of another body on the roster in 205 Live, which was not an ideal situation. But over 2018, Mustafa Ali made a massive name for himself. And a massive name for 205 Live as well. 205 Live went under the radar in 2018. It was my favourite wrestling show of the year, and Ali was a massive part of that. You could arguably say that he was despite never actually winning the championship, he was the face of the brand over 2018, and he's been rewarded for that in the last couple of weeks, being promoted to SmackDown. I say promoted, being moved to SmackDown Live, and it looks like they're pushing him as a main event guy already. He came in, had a competitive match with Daniel Bryan. Yes, he lost, but that's fine. Bryan's the WWE champion, and at the time, that was only a one-off special appearance for Ali. The next week, he's announced as a full-time member of SmackDown, winning the main event, teaming with AJ Styles, pinning Daniel Bryan. And then the next week is beating Andrade Cien Almas clean, establishing himself. So, I think winning. I think it's they could always throw Ali in the title match at the Rumble. I would not be against that at all. But seeing him win the Rumble, it would be an absolute brilliant conclusion to 2018, transition into 2019 for Ali. Does he win the title at WrestleMania? Quite possibly. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, if I had to pick one man to win the Royal Rumble, if Vince himself came up to me and said, "Liam pal, who do you want to win the Rumble?" I'd say Mustafa Ali.
Well, I would like Drew McIntyre to win the Royal Rumble in 2019. Drew McIntyre is still the chosen one, I believe. He was released from WWE a couple of years ago and then got better and better in the indie scene, and he got a better training, tried new moves, and completely reinvented himself. That got him another contract and the NXT Championship, and later he got called up to the main roster and seems to be one of the very few legitimate contenders to the Universal and even Intercontinental Championship. So, with that said, Drew is kinda molding to the entire Raw roster. He's beaten Dolph Ziggler, he's beaten No, he hasn't really beaten Finn Balor, but he's about to. He's currently feuding with Balor, and there's no way that Balor is going over McIntyre at the moment, I believe. Then, of course, we had that infamous match that very well could have been the retirement match of Kurt Angle. That was brilliant. Awesome match. One of the best matches on Raw this year. And, well, Drew McIntyre has got it all. He can talk the talk, he can walk the walk, he's got the look. It's just a matter of time when they pull the trigger on him. So I believe the best way to do that is let Drew McIntyre dominate the Royal Rumble match. Not having the most eliminations, that record is with Roman Reigns, that's fine. But have him eliminate loads of people, beat them down viciously. And, well, in the end, there's R-Truth at number 30. He will eliminate Truth, and then Drew McIntyre will become the Royal Rumble winner of 2019, and he will go on to face the Universal Champion, which is Brock Lesnar. It's kinda heel versus heel dynamic, but I believe everyone, even the mainstream fans, will get behind Drew, as Lesnar as a champion is... Well, there's nothing to say about Lesnar as a champion anymore, because you can't see him. He's not booked, and is the world champion of Raw. It's... well... Drew McIntyre can bring back legitimacy to the Universal Championship. He can even bring back legitimacy back to the main roster of Raw. With Drew as champion, we will have somebody who is like a legit force, who's crazy in the ring, and people will automatically be entertained by him as the champion. He's proved as a NXT champion or as world champion in other various promotions that he can hang at the top of the company, and there will be no difference in the WWE. So Drew McIntyre, I believe, is the best one to pick from the entire roster pool to win the 2019 Royal Rumble. Go get there.
The Royal Rumble comes around once a year, and it is the annual wrestling fan tradition to moan if the person that you want to win doesn't win. This year is a lot different to any other years, because normally there's one person that you can look at as the winner, like Batista in 2014 and Roman 2015, Triple H. But this one is a lot more open than it is usually. The last Rumble, I reckon, when Shinsuke won, was predictable as well. And then 2017, I think, was the most unpredictable one until now. That being said, I do think there is one guy who should win it. And with the Rumble, as you'll see as a theme across both the men's and the women's Rumble for me, should go to the person I feel deserves the spot at WrestleMania more than somebody else. So, I bring the question to you. Who do you feel was the male wrestler of the year in 2018? Both Raw and SmackDown. You probably said Seth Rollins, didn't you? Yes, that's right. Because Seth, he sort of was on the back burner through most of 2017 when he was doing the tag stuff with Dean. And even so much as recently with the New Shield reunion when Roman was the Universal Champion and Seth was the IC. But ever since Roman went obviously down with the unfortunate timing of the leukemia, Rollins has sort of been the de facto top guy on Raw. And I feel like he has earned the chance to, well, not headline, but be in the championship match at WrestleMania against Lesnar. Because it's a good story, because Seth can finally get his win over Brock that he should have got in 2015, but because he pinned Roman, he didn't technically get it. And I feel it was also important that Seth should win and not, like, say, Drew, because Drew could also win and face Brock and beat him. But the pattern I've seen with Brock is most of his better matches have come with the smaller guys. Because Brock and Braun wasn't very good. Brock and Joe was okay, but could have been better. But he had the match with AJ Styles, he had the match with Daniel Bryan, and they were two of his better matches since he came back. Obviously, going back if you want to go back as far as CM Punk, you can. And obviously the John Cena matches weren't all that. Roman matches, apart from Mania 31, have been pretty bad. So I reckon Seth and Brock. Seth will be able to get the best out of Brock for a Mania level main event. I feel like if anybody else on Raw, so that being Braun, Drew, maybe Finn, but I don't think he's going to be ready for it. I don't think any of them could get the caliber of WrestleMania match out of Lesnar that Rollins could. And he was just on fire for most of 2018, doing the IC title stuff. The match with The Miz at Backlash, the match with Elias at Money in the Bank was also really good, but not that talked about. And the Ziggler match at SummerSlam were some of the best Raw matches, main roster, all year. So you need to reward the hard work and effort put in by your top babyface, and let Rollins finally get his Rumble win and finally get his win over Lesnar. You can obviously do the Roman story if you want, about it being him getting redemption from Roman. I wouldn't personally do that. I'd make it about Seth himself, but that's also another avenue you could explore. But Rollins just needs to get the win to obviously cement if they're going to do this new era thing. They're serious about listening to the fans. Obviously Seth is one of the most popular superstars they have on Raw, and he should be the one to win the Rumble and take the title from Brock at WrestleMania. And that wraps up who we'd like to see win the men's Royal Rumble match. Remember to let us know who you'd like to see win and head down WrestleMania by leaving a comment below. And follow us on Twitter at WrestleVisionYT for regular content updates and notifications. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe and turn notifications on. Thanks for watching, and remember, follow the vision.